Imagine waking up every day feeling lighter, more energized, and free from those nagging aches that seem to follow you around. What if I told you that the secret to unlocking this kind of vitality isn't tea hidden in a bottle of pills, but right inside your kitchen? Today, we're diving deep into the world of foods that fight inflammation. And not just any foods, but the best anti-inflammatory foods scientifically shown to help you live longer, healthier, and stronger. Inflammation, when chronic, silently eats away at your health, accelerating aging, damaging organs, and fueling diseases like heart problems, diabetes, and arthritis. But here's the good news. The right foods can be like soldiers, fighting off these silent fires in your body, restoring balance, and keeping your cells youthful. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to add to your plate if your goal is a longer, pain-free life filled with energy and clarity. Now, let's start with a fundamental truth. Not all inflammation is bad. In fact, acute inflammation is your body's defense system. When you cut your finger or catch a virus, your immune system sends an army of white blood cells to fight off infection and repair damage. That's good inflammation. The problem begins when the switch gets stuck and inflammation doesn't turn off. This chronic inflammation is low-grade, often invisible, but it spreads throughout your body, aging your arteries, fogging your brain, and making you feel older than you are. Scientists now consider chronic inflammation one of the main drivers of aging itself. The foods we'll discuss today are not just about eating healthy. They're about silencing this fire at its source so you can extend both your lifespan and your health span. Let's begin with one of the most powerful categories, fatty fish. Think salmon, sardines, mackerel, and anchovies. These fish are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA, which are like natural extinguishers for inflammatory fires. Omega-3s reduce the production of inflammatory molecules called cytokines and prostaglandins, which are linked to chronic diseases. Studies show that people who consume fatty fish at least twice a week have a lower risk of heart disease, slower cognitive decline, and even improved mood. If you're not a fan of fish, high-quality fish oil or algae oil supplements can provide similar benefits. Imagine every bite of salmon you take acting like a shield for your arteries, protecting your brain, and keeping your joints lubricated. Next on our list, we have berries, small, colorful, and deceptively powerful. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries are packed with antioxidants called anthocyanins, which not only give them their vibrant colors but also fight oxidative stress and reduce inflammation. Oxidative stress is like rust inside your body, slowly deteriorating your cells. Eating berries regularly has been linked to improved memory, better cardiovascular health, and reduced risk of type 2 diabetes. In fact, a study from Harvard showed that people who ate more blueberries and strawberries had slower rates of cognitive decline as they aged. Adding just a handful of berries to your breakfast or blending them into a smoothie can feel like giving your brain a tune-up every single day. Moving on, we have one of nature's most ancient anti-inflammatory weapons, turmeric. This golden spice contains curcumin, a compound so powerful it has been studied for its effects on conditions ranging from arthritis to Alzheimer's. Curcumin blocks NF-κB, a molecule that travels into your cells and activates genes linked to inflammation. Think of NF-κB as a master switch for inflammation and curcumin as the hand that flips it off. The only catch is that curcumin isn't absorbed well on its own, but when paired with black pepper, absorption skyrockets. So, adding turmeric to soups, teas, or even golden milk with a pinch of black pepper is one of the simplest anti-aging hacks you can do in your kitchen. But what about something we all need to eat more of anyway? Enter leafy greens. Kale, spinach, Swiss chard, and collard greens are all rich in vitamins C, K, and minerals like magnesium. These nutrients neutralize free radicals that trigger inflammation. Leafy greens are also loaded with fiber, which supports gut health. And here's something fascinating. Your gut microbiome has a direct connection to inflammation. A healthy gut reduces inflammatory signals that can damage organs. Every salad you eat filled with spinach or kale isn't just food, it's medicine, balancing your immune system and feeding the bacteria that keep you young. Now let us talk about one of the oldest staples in the Mediterranean diet, extra virgin olive oil. This liquid gold is loaded with polyphenols, especially oleocanthal, a compound that acts very similarly to ibuprofen in reducing inflammation. In one famous study, people who followed a Mediterranean diet rich in olive oil had significantly reduced markers of inflammation as well as lower risks of heart disease and stroke. Olive oil doesn't just reduce inflammation. It also protects your brain and slows aging at the cellular level. To maximize its benefits, use extra virgin olive oil raw, drizzled on salads, or as a finishing touch to cooked meals because high heat can destroy its delicate compounds. Another superstar food is nuts, especially almonds, walnuts, and hazelnuts. Nuts provide a rich source of healthy fats, fiber, vitamin E, and antioxidants. Walnuts, in particular, are high in omega-3s, while almonds are loaded with vitamin E, which protects cells from oxidative damage. Studies show that people who regularly eat nuts live longer with lower risks of chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes and heart disease. Imagine replacing that bag of chips with a handful of walnuts. You're not just snacking, you're actively reducing inflammation and extending your life. Let's not forget green tea. For centuries, this has been more than just a calming drink. It's packed with catechins, particularly EGCG, which is one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatory compounds ever discovered. Green tea reduces inflammatory signaling in the body and has been linked to lower risks of cancer, improved brain function, and longer lifespan. Drinking 2 to 3 cups of green tea daily can be one of the simplest longevity habits you adopt. And if you prefer matcha green tea, which uses the whole leaf, contains even higher concentrations of these anti-inflammatory compounds. Of course, no anti-inflammatory food list would be complete without mentioning cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cauliflower. These vegetables contain sulforaphane, a compound that reduces inflammation by neutralizing harmful free radicals and switching on your body's own detox pathways. Cruciferous vegetables are also known to lower the risk of cancer, improve liver function, and support heart health. If you've ever thought of broccoli as boring, think again. Inside those green florets is one of the most powerful anti-aging weapons you can eat. Next, let's highlight something slightly sweet, dark chocolate. Yes, chocolate, but the kind with at least 70% cocoa. Dark chocolate is loaded with flavonoids, powerful antioxidants that reduce inflammation and protect your arteries. One study even showed that moderate consumption of dark chocolate improved blood flow and reduced blood pressure. The key, of course, is moderation. A small piece a day can be a guilt-free indulgence that also works as medicine for your body. We also need to talk about tomatoes, a rich source of lycopene. Lycopene has been studied extensively for its role in reducing inflammation, particularly in the lungs and heart. Cooking tomatoes actually increases the bioavailability of lycopene, which means tomato sauce or soup is even more powerful than raw tomatoes. Pairing tomatoes with olive oil boosts absorption even more, making them a perfect anti-inflammatory duo. And finally, let's close with one of the most versatile foods in the world, garlic. Beyond its unmistakable flavor, garlic contains sulfur compounds that suppress inflammatory pathways in the body. Regular garlic consumption has been linked to lower risks of high blood pressure, improved cholesterol, and stronger immune defense. Think of garlic as a natural antibiotic and anti-inflammatory that's been trusted for centuries, and for good reason. So now that you know these powerful anti-inflammatory foods, how do you actually use them to live longer? It's simple. Make them part of your daily routine. Swap processed snacks for nuts, start your morning with green tea and berries, add salmon or sardines twice a week, drizzle olive oil on your greens, and flavor your meals with garlic and turmeric. Over time, these small shifts accumulate into massive changes: less pain, more energy, sharper memory, and ultimately, a longer and healthier life. Remember, your fork is one of the most powerful tools you have. Every meal is either fueling the fire of inflammation or extinguishing it. The choice is in your hands. By choosing these foods consistently, you're not just eating. You're investing in decades of energy, clarity, and resilience. If you found this video helpful, don't stop here. I've prepared more guides on how food can transform your health and extend your life. So make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and check the links in the description for resources that can help you on your journey. Because living longer isn't just about adding years, it's about adding life to those years.